Some of
Can
these
I,
are
can I start with the client?
Sure.
I'd like to defend my client, Willy Wonka.
okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
That's your first one?
I'll defend my boy Willy Wonka.
Okay.
Okay. Well,
Okay. Let me start off. So, what is Joey? Do you want to read off what Willy Wonka has been sentenced for and is
Yes.
accused of?
yes, he has been accused of the following crimes, according to my data here: child endangerment, unsafe workplace conditions, and psychological manipulation.
I see we're using the safe for work version of my
Yes.
client. That's good to hear.
Yes.
Because if we had gone into my client's other accusations, it would be quite hard to defend.
I'm not gonna lie, it's been a hot minute since I've watched the
Yeah.
Chocolate Factory, but
Well, in the very, very first edition of Willy Wonka,
Yeah.
it's a very bit different.
the original book.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, even before then, he even back then,
Yeah.
Mr. Roald Dahl was asked very politely to change some of the aspects of the Oompa Loompas.
Yeah,
Right.
naturally so. Yeah,
Yes.
Well, in the first rendition of the book, I think they were. I think this is. I don't know if that was actually in the which version this was in, but they were literally just African children.
Were they actually?
Yeah, it was like African children that were like shipped over.
Holy
Ooh.
shit!
But apparently, it was like no, it's cool because they really love chocolate, and that's what they want to work for.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, who doesn't? Honestly,
Yes.
And this, I remember reading about it. There's some fascinating aspects of the Roald Dahl autobiography. Where it talks a bit about.
That's crazy.
I've definitely read the original Roald Dahl book, and I do not remember that.
No, I think it was like.
Or was it like before the actual like published version of it?
I can't remember how this worked. It was like when it first came out
Right.
or first publicized. It was a lot of backlash at the time
Mm-hmm.
for him. Basically making Oompa Loompas.
Yes. As you probably should.
I'm not doing a great job defending my client. Right
Yeah.
now. I'm just giving you the full
Providing
scope.
more
Okay.
evidence.
Yes.
And I think initially, I don't know if this is true. I feel like I read this, but apparently Charlie was supposed to be, I think he was supposed to be black at one point. I
Right.
don't know,
Oh.
but then at least he admitted this in autobiography, but then it wasn't the case.
Right.
And he had a very, as they did in the time, a flowery way of discussing this. It's quite jarring to read it now,
Right.
obviously.
Yes.
Interesting.
I think there is a quote, and I don't want to say it out loud.
So can we add to the list of accused crimes blatant racism
Well, Jerry, that's not a crime.
and discrimination? It certainly doesn't help his character.
But
And,
just for the sake of being able to defend Willy Wonka a little bit better, because I, as a white man, don't think I should defend Willy Wonka and Roald Dahl's past.
Sure.
Yes.
Let's defend the
Let's
other one.
let's defend the current iteration and the one.
What a great way
lot
to
of people.
kick this off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, Willy Wonka was racist, probably. Okay. Okay.
but that's here nor there. That's got nothing to do with this case.
Speculation,
We'll
speculation.
look past the racism.
Allegedly racist.
Look, my opening argument is:
Yes.
Okay.
can a man not have whimsy anymore? Is whimsy dead?
Well, when
is it a crime to be whimsical, to bring chocolate to the masses?
No, definitely not.
Sir,
but
sir,
there's a
sir,
difference
sir.
between whimsy and not even endangering children, because I believe several of the children just straight up died. So I believe it's more like child
we
murder.
didn't see that. We don't know that happened. You can't prove it.
Not only did we not see it, but there is a very detailed description in the books of how some of these children were turned to just mush, essentially.
You know, oftentimes when we think back to earlier revelations and inventions, we see that sometimes sacrifice is necessary for the greater good of humanity.
Right.
And I would argue that what Wonka has provided to the world is much more important than a couple of kids' lives.
What are we bringing to society here, Connor? What are we bringing to
I
society
think
here?
the joy and whimsy in terms of the mental health and well-being of the residents of this horrifically poor British town is of such a higher value than a couple of kids. And look,
So what you're
at
saying
this point
is-
in time in the Industrial Revolution, we're
Yeah.
running through those kids. We're shoving them in chimneys. The least of our concern is a couple of kids in comparison to some fantastic tasting chocolate. Your Honor, have you tried the chocolate?
I mean, it
Have
is
you
fire.
tried the chocolate?
It is fire.
And some people claim, okay, maybe you shouldn't have dwarfs working in your factory paid in chocolate. Yes, I agree. It can seem a little unconventional, but you know what else is unconventional?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's unconventional?
I would just like to say, I find it
Progress.
I find
Progress is
it,
unconventional.
you know, Joey, I find it oddly curious that the Mr. Beast lookalike is basically defending Mr. Beast. Once again, you know.
Look, there's no Mr. Beast relation here, okay? He may be the modern day incarnation of him, but there's no
Yeah.
Mr. Beast relation here, okay?
And who's to say that the crimes may not be overlapping to some extent?
Look, the Oompa Loompas, for all we know, wouldn't have had jobs if it wasn't for Mr. Wonka.
Look, dude, do you have a work permit for the Oompa Loompas? Does
A
Willy
what?
Wonka have a work permit?
A what now?
Work permits?
HR, is that a
Oompa
thing?
Loompas?
OH&S?
Yes.
Because I see a very, you know, it takes one look at the factory to see that there is a very strong lack of OH&S.
Really? Well,
Yes.
we're in like the 1970s. We're not concerned with that right now. Have you seen the Chocolate River, Joey?
Yeah, that's a threat.
That's not a threat. It's a treat.
It killed a child.
Okay, children might have died, okay? I admit that. They might have died, okay?
Okay.
But also, the chocolate saves lives.
How so?
How so?
When you bite into a chocolate, you don't think about suffering. You don't think about child endangerment. You don't think about slave labor. What you think about is the feeling.
In the short term, maybe.
Right.
But
Are you
chocolate
a
is also
spokesperson for Nestle as well?
yeah. These are the Nestle talking points.
The people we bring, it's like you're forgetting how many jobs we bring.
It's like Nutella is really bad for you, but
Yeah.
fuck me if it doesn't taste
Yeah.
good.
But what about the feeling, Joey?
What?
The feeling.
Of
The
eating
feeling
chocolate?
of chocolate.
I don't eat chocolate as much anymore, bro. Because it's like
Okay.
too sweet and it's not that great for you.
Okay, well, our chocolate isn't for woke people like you.
Okay. Fair enough. I am woke to the point where I don't care about the chocolate, but I do
So,
care for child
look,
endangerment.
So let me ask you, who is at fault for all of these children's accidents,
The parents.
and deaths? Why is it the parents?
They signed a very, very legally binding waiver that allowed
That
them
says
to
they could die?
Was the child endangerment on the waiver?
Yeah.
Or it's just in like tiny font at the bottom. It's just like disclaimer: you may die.
Accidents happen, Joey. I don't know why you're pretending accidents don't happen.
I don't know, man. I feel this is more like a Soylent Green situation where it was
No,
like
no,
kind
no.
of set up by Wonka.
No.
You know,
And look, it's
who's
not.
to say that they're the first batch of children to go through this?
We had never had an accident before this.
Really?
Never had an accident before this.
Do you have proof on that?
A documented
You have-
accident.
I don't need to prove that we didn't have. You need to prove that we had an accident. There was no accidents before this, and suddenly, you know, irresponsible parents.
Yeah.
You know, these kids are spoiled. All of them were spoiled. Right.
That is true.
They were not.
Except for Charlie.
Charlie had a very interesting uncle, and he was racist. He was racist,
Right.
so we can't trust
Which
him.
we've established is not a crime, by the way.
Which my client, Mr. Wonka, is not guilty of racism. He's guilty of a good time.
I like to rewind about 5 minutes back in the procession.
Now, Mr. Roald Dahl, maybe. But my client Wonka is
I'd
not
like
racist.
I'd like to ask, how does Mr. Wonka treat his staff?
Oh, excellently.
You sure about that?
Is there something that you would think that it wouldn't?
I don't know, just like the constant, manipulation.
Really,
and-
manipulation.
Yeah, and just
Really?
like
The
when
work-
when he says dance, they will dance. You know,
The workplace
Oh.
doesn't seem very safe as well.
Yeah, it
You
does-
mean Radio Tyson? You mean compulsory workplace exercise, mental health consideration, and break time
oh,
for
so the
employees?
Oompa Loompa dance is like a that's
They
what
like
saw.
that. They like that. We tried to get rid of that. We spoke to Wonka, and that was really cutting into the production hours.
Yeah, I believe Mr. Wonka said, "Okay, every time a child dies, that's your Tysaw time. Come on, chop chop."
He was just merely preserving the culture of the Oompa Loompas. Okay? He was very considerate into terms of what they wanted to bring.
It's like, I respect your heritage.
He didn't give them a choice when he brought them over, but he let them keep that.
It's like, I respect your heritage enough that you can keep this one thing.
Yes. So in fact, he was actually extremely considerate when we talk about that. And you might think, yeah, maybe that's, you shouldn't be dancing around heavy machinery. But if you know what you're doing, it's very safe. But obviously, when you have irresponsible parents who don't know how to treat their kids well, who have paid into everything they know, and their kids are spoiled rotten, of course they're going to run rampant. It wouldn't have mattered if it was in a Tesco's. They would have done the same thing. They would have. I'm sure Veruca would have blown up into a fucking ball.
How I'm trying to remember here. How did the children go? Like
one of them drowned in the chocolate.
One of them drowned in the chocolate thing. One of them got turned into a blueberry.
I'm sorry, but he was unfit to be anywhere near any kind of body of water or chocolate without a life preserver on.
I mean, well, was that life preserver given?
We
to
didn't
him?
have one big enough for him.
Yeah.
He was far too big.
Not even a fence or
We did
anything.
well, the fence. I mean, that would ruin the whimsy.
Well, you could be made of.
Have you tried making a chocolate fence, Joey?
No,
It's not easy.
Candy cane. Candy cane fence.
It wasn't in
They've got
season.
giant candy canes in the fucking factory. They could have easily built it
It's
into a
hard for the
fence.
Olympus to pick them up.
Well, then get your employees, bro.
We hire people, Joey. I don't know what you want from me.
Human employees.
Look, my client is innocent. I think he's innocent.
What do you think?
I think if he has to use the word, I think he's in it.
Sorry, my factory is innocent.
Okay, so let's see. So, okay, yeah, Augustus Gloop. Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, he was the one who drowned in the chocolate river. And then Violet Beauregard was the one who got turned into a giant blueberry. Okay. Veronica Salt.
Okay, first of all, Violet did not disclose on the form that she signed any allergies. So we're not responsible for any allergies she might have had at that time. It was not disclosed.
Yeah, well, not many people are allergic to a 3-course dinner chewing gum.
Well, you should have been aware of that before you signed. You shouldn't be taking things you don't know if you're allergic to. I mean, it's quite obvious that, Veruca Salt's downfall, demanding a trained squirrel for herself, Veruca enters the nut room.
The what room?
What? The what room?
We very clearly asked her to stay out of the nut room.
Yeah.
That was Mr. Wonka's private abode, which is not meant for public touring.
Yeah, so it says here, Veruca enters the nut room where the squirrels test bad nuts and ultimately deeming her a bad nut and throwing her down the garbage chute.
That was a horrid way to go.
That is a horrid way to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's horrible. I mean, what's more horrible is Veruca Salt not listening to instructions.
Well, it's also the fact that Veruca Salt was labeled as this thing where it's just like, who determined this? A bunch of squirrels? Oh, I got killed by a bunch of squirrels. Sick.
I'm sorry, who's on trial here? Wonka or my fucking employees?
Yeah, all. Your entire... I liked... It's the Willy Wonka LLC that we are putting on trial
the
right
squirrels work very hard and they are very good at their job. Obviously, Veruca should have never been in the nut room.
It's like, who put her in the nut room?
on the form, we had, the guideline of the tour was in that area. We are not responsible for any place where the attendees go off the tour. And
Right.
that's obviously there's gonna be a dangerous room. It's like in Disney. If you went into the fucking back machinery room and you got crushed into a machine, well, that's not our fault. You should have been there. How'd you
Yeah.
get in there?
And then what was the other one? Mike TV? I don't remember this character at all. Results in him shrinking to just a few inches tall, later being stretched out over 10 feet in the process of trying to return him to normal size. So he literally got spaghettified. Bro was like medieval fucking hung and quartered type of torture. And he grew a few inches, but like ultimately suffered from the process. Oh yeah, and then in the sequel, The Great Glass
We're gonna talk
Elevator,
about the sequel.
The Great Glass Elevator, fucking Wonka literally fucking kamikazes himself into Charlie's house and destroys the house. So there's also property damage as well.
Okay,
Another crime.
There's no proof this happened.
Okay, I would like to ask then, on the contrary, what is one good thing that Willy Wonka has done? Other than give joy.
Jobs. So many jobs. So many jobs.
Yeah, but during this time period...
Excuse me, are you talking about jobs for our local population, or are you giving jobs?
Yeah, he's not even helping the local economy, bro.
Yeah,
Well,
yes.
Mr. Wonka likes to keep his products affordable. And that helps the local population work harder.
So basically, he's running an Oompa Loompa sweatshop, is what you're saying.
Yes.
No, think of it this way. There's so many other jobs that rely on outside of the factory. There's
Sure.
people who pick up the chocolate.
Oompa Loompas,
There's
I assume.
people who make the chocolate
Oompa
into
Loompas, I
coffees
assume.
or some shit.
Yes.
Into coffees?
Look, I feel
Dude, a
like
Willy Wonka coffee blend would go so hard.
it would. Look, my client is innocent.
Look, I feel like you haven't provided sufficient evidence that there was enough protection for the children against all of the dangers within the workplace that is clearly untreated for nice conditions, good conditions, and outside of all the other racism, outside
Not a
of
crime.
racism,
Not a crime.
perhaps even slavery, you know, we don't know where these Oompa Loompas came from, how much they're being paid,
Yeah,
what their current work
what if they
situations
weren't
are.
even?
Canonically, they're being paid in cocoa.
Yeah, what if they weren't even brought there on their own volition?
I'm pretty sure they weren't.
So slavery, basically.
Whoa. Jobs, Joey. Jobs. We don't use the S word around Wonka Corp. We use the word jobs.
Okay.
But I think we can bring this to the jury right now.
Yeah. What are we thinking, jury?
Is Willy Wonka guilty or not? Did he do anything wrong?
Am I part of the jury?
I thought we'd bring it to like Kai.
Oh.
Kai.
Yeah, because Kai was like looking at me
Willy
and
Wonka
like,
guilty?
what are you?
Fuck, my client. I'm so sorry, Mr. Wonka.
It's pretty irredeemable.
Okay.
All right, who's next?